During the days of travel, it wasn't hard to see I was slowing them down. Unlike the men, I had to get down off the saddle to relieve myself. The men could just stand in their stirrups, and I wasn't one for being watched. Finding an accommodating bush was not an easy task, and I still felt like I was being watched, which made it even harder. Though I knew it wasn't the case, it was still embarrassing to me. Nevertheless, the men didn't seem to mind. Furnius was not accustomed to going outside. It was rather funny how he would hold solids as long as possible, praying for a bathroom, which I'm not sure what he was thinking. It's not like we would find one in the trees. I still felt like I was the one slowing them down, especially since Dr. Furnius was now rather good on old drum, and Henry, being further from Harlt's, had less pain, or at least that seemed to be the case. We were running low on food and heard that we could find a solo traveler or a rogue pack. Colt was very cautious and on point. We each kept watch at different times in the night. It was something I was glad to help with. We followed a tree line that more than likely had game in it, but it could also be a good place to be ambushed. But it would also be good hiding for us if we saw something coming our way. I went up beside Colt, who I could tell was thinking deep on something or other. "Is it all right to talk?" Colt looked over. "Seems to be all right. What is it, love?" "I just wanted to ask Mac something." Mac perked his ears but kept his head forward. "What is it, Vida?" Mac asked. "Well, it's just how did you get to Harlt's? I mean, there's no road here that could have transported you. Did you go by air? I was made in Aonvilla so long ago. There used to be roads, long black ones with white lines. Let me show you." Mac stopped, coming to a complete stop, pawing hard at the ground quite a few times, looking down. I could hear his hoof hitting a gravel-like scraping sound. The roads I knew were white, but the stone road he uncovered was black. Mac started to walk again. I was shut down, or so they thought. They had me in a long trailer with other animatronics. I recorded it all with my GPS. It was only installed to find me if I were to be lost or stolen, but I found it rather useful for keeping records of the few places I had been. "I see. What was Aonvilla like when you were there?" "It must have been some time ago." "Yes, it has been many years. I lay dormant watching everything around me fall to pieces, but the barn kept me in better condition than most. The barn's leaking roof was making its way to me. I was sure it was going to be a slow death, if that's even what I can have. I'm hundreds of years old. I was made to last. My metal's above the other animatronics. My insides needed so much repair. Many tubes were rotted." Max snorted, shaking his head. "Your question about Aonvilla, it was called by the same name. The land there was a different version, a trial park, one of education above just mere fun like Harlt's. I don't know entirely when it went wrong there. I had left before that all came to pass. I saw little of the town only through passing, but I remember there was a coldness toward the animatronics, but also a fascination. If we didn't perform well, we were upgraded. There was some kind of seriousness I couldn't understand then and still don't. Do you remember the name of the AI that ran it?" "I feel like that is blocked in my memory. I remember nothing of it other than its tasks." "Tasks?" "Yes, it was to be a teacher. It would always say before every task it was given, 'I swear by Apollo Healer, by Asclepius, by Hygeia, by Panacea, and by all the other deities, making them my witnesses, that I will carry out, according to my ability and judgment, this oath and this indenture. To hold my teacher in this art equal to my own parents, to make him partner in my livelihood, when he is in need of money to share mine with him, to consider his family as my own brothers, and to teach them this art if they want to learn it without fee or indenture, to impart precept, oral instruction, and all other instruction to my own sons, the sons of my teacher, and to indentured pupils who have taken the healer's oath, but to nobody else. I will use those dietary regimens which will benefit my patients according to my greatest ability and judgment, and I will do no harm or injustice to them. Neither will I administer a poison to anybody when asked to do so, nor will I suggest such a course. Similarly, I will not give to a woman a pessary to cause abortion. But I will keep pure and holy both my life and my art. I will not use the knife, not even, verily, on sufferers from stone, but I will give place to such as are craftsmen therein. Into whatsoever houses I enter, I will enter to help the sick, and I will abstain from all intentional wrongdoing and harm, especially from abusing the bodies of man or woman, bond or free. And whatsoever I shall see or hear in the course of my profession, as well as outside my profession in my intercourse with men, if it be what should not be published abroad, I will never divulge, holding such things to be holy secrets. Now if I carry out this oath, and break it not, may I gain forever reputation among all men for my life and for my art, but if I break it and forswear myself, may the opposite befall me. It was most annoying to hear it day in and day out. Colt looked to me. There's only one greatest one, by its own proclamation of others' falsities. It shows it chose the side of the darkest one. I felt the hair raise on the back of my neck. Colt had introduced the belief of the greatest one to me, shortly after Harltz was defeated. In the herd, I had heard the tales, but until I understood the meaning behind the stories that were told, now I too was a believer. I had already seen the miracles that could come from the greatest one. There was nothing to doubt. But this place sounded like it was denying the greatest one. And how could a place that denied the greatest one above all else have any type of healing or love in it? Were we going to Aeon or to Sodom? Colt slowed Mac down the other horses. Shh! Quiet! I looked the direction that Colt was looking, way far in the distance. There was a solo. Whether they were kind or not was to be determined. Colt turned around. Keep your minds on track. Don't get distracted. Stay on your horse, and if I say run, run. Other than that, stay quiet. Dr. Furnius looked to Colt. It's only one. At least, couldn't we just run by them? We don't know what's around them. It's best if we stay calm and do not raise suspicions. We walked on, Colt jumping down being the leader. It was a sign of no harm intended, holding up an arm as we grew closer. The man in an odd cape stood perfectly still as we walked up closer. Good day to you. We are traveling onward. We seek just to keep on our way in peace. We have no reason to cause you trouble. The man lifted his hood. His skin was dark, his hair braided, his eyes were ice blue and piercing. He was very well built. I should say not.